When students come to play in the orchestra, they sit down, they work on their own, they work with their teachers, they work with their ensemble, they work from this music that's placed in front of them. And especially for students who haven't done this before, they can't see past the paper. It starts on the stand. Here is the dot, and it's for this long, and it's this pitch, and I play it with this finger, with this type of bow. It's very important for them to look beyond that to grow as musicians. Someone imagined those dots on the paper. Someone was emotionally inspired to create sound. It's not meant to stay on the paper, but it doesn't start on the paper either. And unless the students realize that the emotion and the creative process exists on both sides of their stand, who puts it there and who interprets it, they don't get the full picture of what it is to make music.
Last year was my first year in the Ipswich schools. I learned about these different grant opportunities for teachers. So I thought, what would be an interesting project that we could apply for some funding for? Rob Bradshaw was in the area. He's a well-respected, well-renowned composer. The wheels started turning. What can we do that would be very relevant? What can we do that would be very exciting? So I thought, well, I wonder if Rob would be willing to work with the students on sort of a collaborative composition project. How cool would it be if we can get the hundreds of string students involved with their own artistic vision from the get-go, and then perform something that sort of crosses all of these barriers between ages and that is inherently Ipswich.
This is a fabulous project for students to demystify composing and to interact with a really outstanding musician and a great composer like Rob Bradshaw. Students are writing music, and then they're working on it, they're developing it, and then they're performing it.
Part of the object of this residency and most contemporary residencies is to expose students to the idea that they can write the music that they play.
I think that's the excitement of this project, is that the students composed this work. It just really laid that entire foundation of creativity.
When Mr. Bradshaw first came in, I think the students were a little nervous. They didn't think they could contribute anything, and he made the process so easy.
He said, you all can compose music. You might not know that yet, but you can do it, and you do it all the time.
He said, oh, can you do that again, what you did in warm-ups? You played Mississippi Hot Dog, or you played just your open strings. And he said, that is music.
He made them comfortable by, let's play something you're familiar with. And now how can we alter that? How can we manipulate that in a way where we can start to have some creative process? And from there, I saw just a drastic change in the mindset of the students in approaching composition. Now they're really free to create.
Even the fifth graders have been able to be involved in this process. And so what Robert did was he took those simple ideas that the children contributed. He made it so that the whole orchestra was reflecting that musical idea. When they were hearing the songs for the first time, I had one girl say, that sounds like a song I wrote once on the guitar. And I said, was that by any chance the song that you submitted to us? And she said, oh, this is my song.
I wrote that. And it's the first time they've heard it, and it's not the first time they've played the piece. And that also, educationally, is vitally important, because as musicians, we don't just learn our pieces in the first moment that we play. It's a process, and they evolve over time, and we get to learn the piece more, and we express ourselves, and we learn what other people are doing with it. This component of also then having the realization, I wrote that part of this piece, is wonderful for confidence building, because now it's exciting, and it's my piece, and here we are all playing it together, and it's a very exciting thing that not many people get to experience.
I think it really is just reaching that highest level of understanding. What I'm doing isn't just for the performance sake, it's also educational. And with any, I think, field of education, the highest level of understanding is when you're creating yourself.
This type of education, this music education, is an important part of the basic education for all our students. The results that I would love to see is more ownership by the students, a renewed sense of their own communication, their own expression, and knowing that they have the power to do that.
Performing music that's meaningful, performing music at a high level, and performing music that's well written. That's an experience that students don't forget. I think it's inspiring to be a part of the creative team that puts together some art that there's connection with, in the sense that, okay, my friend wrote this part. Here's the guy who put this all together, and he's worked with us throughout the process.
Thank you to Ipswich and to all of the wonderful music directors here. There's just a wealth of talent in this program. All of these incredible students. None of the music that I write will come to life because of me. It requires educators and professionals and musicians on stage, and students are willing to take time out of their day to practice their parts, to bring this music to life. That I have to be thankful for every single time. There's absolutely never a moment where I hear even a note of the music that I've had to put out on page that I'm not thankful for the people who are creating it. And so that's it. I would just say thank you to everyone.